Good, happy Sunday morning, and welcome back to Panda Pop's Crafting Joyful Moments. If you've not been here before, my name's Helen Armstrong, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, but my main goal is to share my love of crafting and things that you can do with various craft projects. So today we are looking at creating shrink plastic, shrink plastic key rings, and we're even going to make a sparkly one. I don't know whether you can quite see this, but oh, you can a little bit picking up the sparkle ones to match in with the mixed floral paper that I've been using recently to create some cards with. This is going to be next week's tutorial because I used one 12 by 12 sheet of paper to make, I think it was 8 or 9 cards. Yeah, so I was very happy with this. So what I've done is I decided, wouldn't it be nice to provide somebody a keyring that matches the card as a little extra gift when we send things. Okay, I've also been playing about with our beautiful butterfly set as well. So I'm also going to possibly make some butterflies depending on the time. So to do this, we need a number of things. First thing is you need a good shrink plastic. I started off using a very cheap shrink plastic, which in all honesty, it was clear, but it really didn't work well when it shrunk down. There was a lot of sticking to it and it just didn't lay flat. Even, you know, you could put as much pressure on possible to do it, but it refused to lay flat. Sometimes there's a little bit of bobbling. So I decided to go with the Sizzix Clear. It's not 100% clear because you can obviously see that it's got that little bit of not transparency on the back. It's a bit cloudy, but you know, I actually do quite like the effect, and it really picks up when you add a little bit of sparkle to it. You're also going to need some StazOn ink, or some ink which is not going to move when you put on it or add any kind of alcohol based or water based things to it. And now I've used StazOn. I've also made sure that I have my stamp cleaner with me, because if you use StazOn on this type of polymer stamp, clear, it can over time degrade your stamp, so you must make sure. And you know, those who watched me before, I'm not the queen of cleaning. Yeah, so you need to ensure that you clean the stamp immediately. So I've got my stamp cleaner, I've also got my chamois, and I've also got some baby wipes as well. Now the baby wipes I use are biodegradable. I ensure that when I'm using that kind of product, it is biodegradable because I do use a lot of them. I mean, I say I use a lot of them. I don't use as many as I used to because I use my chamois a lot more. Right, so let's get started. We're going to start with our flowers from the mixed florals, and I'll talk you through step by step what we do. So what I found is that it's best if I stamp onto the shiny side and then I colour in from behind. That is what I found is the best way to do this. Let's just get the right stamping block. Let's do this one first. You'll also notice that this particular stamping block has got lots of black bits on. That's because I've been using this StazOn ink on it. And you've also got to ensure that you press very, very firmly, but try not to wiggle when you press down. Make sure that's got a nice coverage to it. I do have a pen, which is a permanent pen, in case I wanted to just, if something doesn't quite stamp so well, I can fill it in with a permanent pen. So let's just move that up a little bit. So I'm just going to place it down, and I'm just going to ensure that I put a bit of pressure on. But I'm ensuring also at the same time I am not moving that stamping block. Okay, you will find that it can be difficult. You see, that's not worked very, very well, and I'm trying to work out why that's not worked very, very well. Did I do it the other way around? Did I do it on the back? You know what? I'm going to give it a go. Let's just see whether it stamps any better on the back and I colour on the front. Trial and error, trial and error. Let's give this a go. And I apologise again for my sniffing. It is hay fever season. I have taken my allergy medication this morning, but it is not seemed to have kicked in as of yet. Right, let's see what happens this time. I might actually stand up and do a bit more pressure on it. And if that doesn't work, I just moved it. Right, okay, so that has worked really, really well. I obviously got it the long way around. Stamp on the matte side, colour on the other side. Right, okay, so we're going to just get our next stamp. And then what we will do is we'll clean both our stamps off at the same time. If you've watched my channel a few times by now, you know I often will make mistakes, but you know, it's part of crafting. You do make mistakes. Sometimes happy mistakes, actually. Right, okay, so I'm now going to put that one down there. And I'm just going to make sure I apply some pressure. And that's gone lovely as well. Right, okay, for this particular one though, I actually liked it when I added the butterfly at the top. So I'm going to use the butterfly from Beautiful Butterflies. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean our stamp. Now to do this, I'm going to show you how we do this. So some people scrub over the top. I actually find it's better just to daub and then clear off. Now you can, which I actually do have, I do have a StazOn removal cleaner. Sorry, I'm just over this side doing this one. I do have a removal cleaner, but unfortunately, can I find it? So for this one, we're just gonna use this. Okay. And I'm just gonna wipe off. Okay. I mean, what I have done actually with the butterfly ones is I've bought an extra set of the stamps. So I think if you find a particular stamp, I mean, I use Stampin' Up stamps. It doesn't have to be Stampin' Up stamps, but if you find a particular stamp that you think would work really, really well, and if you want to use it for card making as well as doing shrink plastic, what I would suggest is that you buy 2 sets of the stamps. So yeah, you might essentially ruin one set eventually with using the StazOn on the shrink for the shrink plastic, but you will then have your second set that you can use for your general card making. And I think that's what I'm actually going to do. I'm actually going to buy myself, as I say, I've bought one of the Beautiful Butterflies, a second one. What I will probably do is buy a second one for the mixed florals. I also will let you know, I suffer from something called fibromyalgia, and I don't know whether anyone else is aware of what fibromyalgia is, but it is an essentially autoimmune condition, and it means that sometimes I can be in a lot of pain, but also brain fog. And brain fog seems to be it this morning, unfortunately. So yeah, so we'll continue stamping and then we will get to the colouring in just a little while. So I'm just going to put my little butterfly just here. Now he's not worked brilliantly, but again, I can use my little pen if I need to, if I think I need to. As long as you can see the lines to colour in, when it shrinks, it goes very dark anyway. Just make sure I can get as much of that off as possible. Right, okay. Okay, so we're going to just put that to one side. For now, put on with our stamp blocks. I do need the big one for when we actually do heat emboss. What I might quickly do is just so when I'm colouring from behind, is just go over some of these lines. I just move it around and then I can pick up. I wonder what everyone else has been doing this week. We've had a busy week at work. The job I do, I didn't do that very well, did I? The job I do is a wonderful job, actually. I get to help the public with various issues, but it has been a busy week this week. Right, okay, I think also what I might do is just grab some paper. In order to, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some paper to put behind so that I'm colouring. It might ease that a little bit, so I'm just using the back sheet of a pad of paper. Okay. Oh, also now switched off my lamp. How did I do that, I wonder? Oh, today is going so well. Okay. Hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for when we're colouring in. So as I say, we stamped on that side. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to start colouring on this side. Now I've been using our Stampin' Up. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to move that so it's not so much of a shadow. That's a bit better. Our Stampin' Up alcohol inks, alcohol-based inks, which are what probably are stamping blends, and they lend really, they do go really, really well with this. So I'm going to start with our tulips that are here, and I'm going to start putting, excuse me for the frog in my throat. I'm going to start with our light daffodil. Daffodil Delight, is that right? Yeah, light Daffodil Delight. And I'm just gonna, again, some of you have watched me colour before. With this particular set, I don't think that you need to be too precise when you're colouring. Absolutely not. I think it's absolutely fine not to, you know, you don't have to spend masses of time doing it. I'm then going to pick up our Light Poppy Parade, which I absolutely adore at the moment. But I also really love our Melon Mambo and the new Strawberry Slush, which has come in. So I'm just going to put that up there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tiny bit of orange just to blend that even further. For some reason I don't seem to have oh I do, light pumpkin pie. Am I going to use light? Let's use light. What I've loved about this particular thing is that it is very much trial and error. If light's not picking up, let's use a little bit of the dark to blend it in. That's better. So I'm just going over. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my fingers a little bit just to push up. So you get that bit of gradient effect, and if you do it quickly once it's on there, you can get much better of effect. That's it, I like that. Right, okay. Now I'm going to grab our greens. I've been using, if you also know me very well by now, excuse me, our Granny Apple Green. And Granny Apple Green is along with, I do love, you know, I'm saying I love it. I do love my Granny Apple Green as a colour to colour in. But for some reason I don't have the dark one as well. But let's just play. So I'm just going to put some on our leaves here. I'm really sorry, I am left-handed, which makes it very, very difficult when you're videoing to show. I'm just going to put some on, and then I'm going to maybe pick up, which I've not used actually so far on the shrink plastic, is the Mossy Meadow Green. So I picked up a little bit of that. I'm going to use, no, actually I'm going to use Old Olive, and I'm just going to come in, and I'm actually going to pick up my dark Old Olive. I think that might be better. Yeah, so as I say, busy week at work this week, and also a busy week for Stampin' Up this week, because we have had our double rewards this week. So if you are a member of the Stampin' Up rewards, which you sign up to online, you've been able to get double reward points this last couple of days. It's now finished, unfortunately. But if you sign up to my Facebook page or Instagram, so it's Pandora Pops Crafting Joyful Moments, you get to know about all this information that comes out way ahead of time. So you'll be able to know what's coming up when it comes to everything to do with Stampin' Up and any promotions that we have. So this next week on the 6th, we have our annual catalogue release. And the annual catalogue, I'm just going to blend that slightly with my finger. The annual catalogue comes out, as I say, annually, once a year. And it is released on the 6th of May this year. So that's Tuesday. At the same time, we have what we call online releases. We've got a new online release, which is happening as well on the 6th of May. Everything... Sorry, this is really annoying me now. Everything you can find in the catalogue, you will find on our website. So if you just prefer to shop online, you can do. And if you wanted to help promote my business or help, me continue to make this type of video, if you wanted to shop with me, you could shop with me if you just find me at Helen Armstrong, especially in the United Kingdom. If you are shopping from America, please find one of the wonderful demonstrators in America. Also in Europe, we have some amazing demonstrators in Europe, so it would be really nice for you to shop with them too. Okay, I'm actually going to pick up the orange again. It's not been that difficult to, not difficult, that onerous to actually colour in. Right, so we're now going to go on to our next ones. Now this is predominantly, because it's a daisy, I have been predominantly doing it with a touch of yellow. And then picking up also a little bit of orange on, let's use the thick nib. And then blending it slightly with. The good thing about the blends is, especially when you're using it on this type of material, is that you can blend them really, really well. I'm just going to fancy a little bit of touch of orange at the bottom here. Just to pick it out. Okay. But for my flowers, I'm actually going to go a bit rogue, and I'm going to have the wonderful Melon Mambo. So let me just find my light. Oh, can't find my light Melon Mambo. Where are you? I do. Find it here. Light Melon Mambo, and I'm just gonna put a touch of pink. I'm a bit of a pink. I do really like pinks, but when it comes to spring, I think I'm definitely maybe more orangey type colours, and let's come in again and do some on our leaves. Again, I'm not spending masses of time, colouring in. Obviously you could spend an awful lot more time colouring in and, you know, choosing your colours probably a little bit more wisely than I am doing currently. But because it shrinks down to such a very, very small amount, it's, you know, if you do make a mistake, it doesn't really show. I've just realised I have missed a flower. Just down here, but what I'm also going to do is just to pick out that middle bit of those flowers, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of colour around just on those petals, just to a little bit more focus. Okay, now our butterfly. What are we going to do with the butterfly? Let's turn this around. So our butterfly, how are we going to colour him in today? Well, since we've got Melon Mambo out, let's start with that Melon Mambo. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just picking up bits within my butterfly. Picking up the colours that I've already used. Let's get our yellow in, our Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to blend a little bit in at that, the bottom. Again, I'm not being massively precise with this, and I'm just going to add a little touch on there. And then I'm just going to I'm actually just going to use, let me have a look to see what we have. I'm going to use our Pretty Peacock just in the centre of our butterfly. Just to bring a little, let's just put a little bit of Pretty Peacock here just to pick up. I love Pretty Peacock as well. Right, okay. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to trim around these, and then we are going to cut them out. So trim around these, cut them out, same thing. So we're going to cut round, and I'm just going to cut round really, really quickly. And I have also realised I've forgotten to bring in my hole punch. So these are not going to have holes in, but they will still be great as a little charm we can have. I've attached some of these to my planner, which I've made. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to leave you for 2 seconds and just run and get my hole punch. Once I've finished cutting these out. Again, I'm not being massively precise, I am just doing a quick trim round. Okay, so I'm just going to leave you watching now while I quickly go and grab my hole punch. Hi, sorry about that. I also had to let my cat out. I could hear her crying outside. I don't know whether you could hear her crying outside. Right, okay, so we're going to hole punch. And I'm going to put my hole up here for this one. And for this one, I think I'm going to put my hole here. Okay. Before we do anything else though, I'm going to turn these over and I'm going to put some sparkle on the back, especially with the flowers. So this is our Wink of Stella, and Wink of Stella just gives a little bit of shimmer to projects. If you don't want to go on full on glitter, Wink of Stella is just amazing. And I have to say, it lasts a very, very long time. I have had this particular Wink of Stella pen for well over a year now, and I do use it. Probably not daily, but I do use it at least 3 or 4 times a week. I don't know whether you can see that it's a bit sparkly. For this one, I'm actually going to pick up my butterfly, and I'm just going over the top. Pick up my butterfly. Now, I've always done it from the behind bit of this, so I'm not sure what would happen if we do it on the front. What I might do is I might turn it over and see. I don't think it will actually stick, that's the problem, to it. I think what will happen is it will probably want to move my colour about, but let's turn it over and give it a quick blast on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to pick it up again. I mean, it's layering on there. It would be interesting to see what happens. I'll just do it on this one. I'm not going to put it on the other one. And let's just do our... Okay. Now we're at the point where we need to do our Shrinky Dink. Now, I'm using a Tim Holtz, well, it's a Ranger tool, Ranger Heatcraft tool, because this is my spare one, and unfortunately my Stampin' Up one, which I have had for many, many years, because it was one of the first things I bought way back when it came to Stampin' Up. Yeah, so I've had it many, many years, and unfortunately last week it decided to give up the ghost, but this is my spare one, and it's what we're going to be using today. I'm just going to now take it off, and we're going to do one at a time. Now, I'm going to turn it over. Let's just turn them both over to one side. Okay, move one out of the way. Now, one is the good thing about this heat tool is that it's very quiet. It doesn't blow things around as much, so you can actually just start heating. And I'm heating it on my glass mat because it gives a flat surface for me to press down. So as you can hear, it's not loud at all like a lot of the other heat tools. It's really, really strong. Oh look, it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. This is where you can get a bit frightened and go, oh no, it's curling over. What am I doing? What am I doing? Just bear with it. Just bear with it. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Yeah. See how it's unfurled itself again? It curled up and then it unfurled. Okay, so I'm just again letting it do its thing. I'm keep heating it. Don't be tempted to just, at this point, oh, it's, I always tend to give it a little bit longer, and then what I do is I quickly flip it and then let it flatten down on the other side as well. Yeah. Okay. And then last thing I do is put a block on it and press. So I know that flattens it out. Okay, we have our wonderful keyring. Okay, and it is sparkly. It's still it's actually, that sparkle on the front has dried, and you can see it's a little bit sparkly on the back, but that looks really, really nice. So let's now what I'm actually going to do is I am going to, as soon as that worked, I'm going to put some more sparkle on. Some more sparkle on everywhere. Yay! Can't never have enough sparkle, is what I think. Not, you know, you can never have enough. Never have enough sparkle. I'm probably now overdoing it. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing again. We're just going to let it heat up. This one's curling a bit more, but just give it that time. You can put these in the oven. You can put the shrink plastic in the oven. I've not done it where we put it in the oven. I've just purely done it with the heat tool because it's just quick and easy. It's just slowly flattening out. Flip it over, flatten it down even more. And then that's it. That is it. We have made our two wonderful shrink plastic sparkly. I even love the effect on the back as well. So I would do it back and front just to get that extra sparkle. Now to protect these, you can put a layer of, which is what I did. I did a little bit of, oh, did I use Mod Podge? I used a clear acrylic essentially over the top just to protect them even further, but you shouldn't need to because you've used the alcohol inks. It's not going to come off. But yeah, so there's our two that we've made this morning. And again, I apologise for my sniffiness. Yeah, so you know, take your time over the colouring, make it probably more perfect than mine have been this morning. But yeah, as I say, perfect to go with a birthday card as an extra special treat. You could have it just inside, or you could even punch the side to have that with it. Okay, so that was what we've done. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to tell you about this particular one. What I might do is, if I can find them, yes I can. So I have, Stampin' Up! Have released these, well, these bee trinket, these wonderful tiny miniature bees, and they're called Tiny Bee Trinkets. If I can get it open, I will show you. Sorry, they are really, really tiny. And my hands aren't playing ball with me this morning. Ooh. I can't get it open, but I don't know whether you can see. They are absolutely miniature. I don't know if I can get it to focus. Miniature bees. So what I'm going to do is I might put a couple on our flowers with a little bit of super glue and just see what happens and see what they look like. Right, thank you for joining me today. Again, I apologise for the sniffing and the croaky throat earlier on. I'm really, really sorry. I only get a small time on a Sunday morning to record my videos, so I can't really spend time re-recording. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Again, if you can, it helps like, subscribe to my channel, and it helps me able to afford to do these types of videos for you. Again, look at I've got Instagram at Pandora Pops Crafting Joyful Moments, as well as Facebook threads. If you go to pandorapops.com, you will find my website. Okay. All right, thanks again for joining. Take care, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.